is right. It is a fantastic, productive, glowing Tuesday morning or Tuesday afternoon, depending on where you are. For me, it is 9:36 in the morning and I just finished my sexy walk as I always speak about and wanted to come on and share because there's a thought. Trusting the quiet times. Thank you for the likes already and what that means. I also have a word of the day, which is Kismet. 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 And Kismet, the definition of Kismet, what's up, handsome? I haven't seen you in a while. As soon as I saw you pop in, I had to say hello. Handsome. Kismet is destiny or fate. So I'm going to throw in words of the day to increase our collective vocabulary. Because instead of saying, oh, it was destiny or it was fate, if you said, today felt like Kismet, I would be impressed. Hello, handsome. Are you back live? Because I haven't seen you live. You say you can't hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? I would like to know, handsome, can you hear me? Put a microphone or a thumbs up if you can. Okay, so you can hear me. Anyone who can't, that is on you. All right, that is on you. And great morning. Thank you, Lamp Stewart. So here's the topic today. And it's something that I have thought about and I've discussed it with others. And it's this: trusting the quiet times. You know, the times when you've put the work in and everything's quiet. And at times how I know I have felt like something's going wrong. Maybe this isn't it. And when you choose to trust, especially in the quiet times, maybe something in the background is happening that you need to fully trust. You need to fully know that you've put the work in, you've done your due diligence, and the point of you trusting is to trust, to have faith, to stay positive, and to know everything is working out. So, why do we not trust in the quiet times when everything is smooth, when there's nothing going on, when there's no chatter? Why do we choose to say there is a problem? I often think it's because we have conditioned ourselves to feel that there always has to be something. There always has to be something that we're sorting out or that we're figuring out, or that we're expecting. And in that time of trusting in the quiet times, it may just be that this is the new normal. To trust when things are quiet. To trust that things are going well. To trust that it's not another problem that's coming. To trust that you have done all the work. To trust that it's there for you. It's there for you. And good morning, or good afternoon, whatever it is for you. Good, great, exceptional. Let's make it exceptional. I don't want good. I want exceptional. I want memorable. I want jump out of your seat like this is the best. I want kick in the pants day. That's what I want. I don't want good. Again, let me introduce myself. I am Hope. Hope is speaking. And that's right. Let's go. Thank you. I just came from my sexy walk. I do a minimum of an hour of movement a day. You typically aren't going to see me in a gym, although I do like a gym. I've had my time in the gym. I used to go really hard in the gym, and it's great when you have a hot trainer. That helps. So that was encouraging. However, continue to like the live, and now I just like to switch it up. Handsome, why are you laughing? It is great. It is motivation to have a handsome trainer. Okay, so let me share this story. Every time, I have a story to go with everything. While I was living in London, I would go to this dance studio. I love to dance. I am. Yes, a pretty trainer, a hot trainer, a trainer that's in shape, a trainer that's good to look at. No one says I want an average trainer that doesn't look so good. No. In fact, I told my sister. She invited me to the gym, to her HIIT class, which I don't do. Okay? I've done that. I'm like, first of all, if I go into the gym and I don't see anyone who's in better shape than me, I'm probably going to walk out. And if I don't see, shout out to the big sister. If I don't see anyone who's in equal or better shape than me, I don't need to be there, because I'm not going to be challenged. I'm already a lunatic with fitness. Okay? And let me add another layer. If the person leading the class isn't at least to my level of fitness or better, I'm really leaving. Because what are you gonna tell me? What do you get? I'm that crazy person where when I go to the gym, and if I am in a class, I go right to the front and I'm challenging whoever's leading the class. I am that person. I am. My sisters know. They know Hope's going to go up to the front. Hope's going to be like trying to go as hard as she can. Yes, that is the point. The point is to challenge myself, challenge my body, challenge the fitness. So if the teacher or the trainer isn't to the shape of me or better, that I don't need to be there. I don't need to be there. Furthermore, exactly, look at the skin. You know what, handsome? You are right. Look at the skin. Look at the skin. The skin comes from hydrating, from living a good life. Let me just add that. It's also from living a good life. I will be 40 in November, and I don't know what age really means, because to me, I just feel good. I have often been told I'm slightly childlike. However, I just feel good. If it's nonsense, I kick it out of my life. If you're nonsense, you're out of here. Okay? And if the trainer don't have the arms like this or better, I'm not there. I'm not there. Okay? I go to sleep. That's what makes a good life for me. So again, with the gym, a hot trainer helps. If the people in the gym aren't to the equal fitness level of me or higher, I'm out of there. And definitely, and 3 months, and 3 months. Okay. Well, yeah, I live a good life. That's just it. I live a good life. And for the most part, I mean, I have lip gloss, but I don't, it's in a hot weather destination. Makeup isn't really it. So that's what it is. However, and I'm not around crazy people that will put wrinkles on your face. So my sister invited me to this class, and I don't like it, because I don't do just squats for 50 minutes. That's for the people that do those workouts and then go home, and they're not in the gym for another week. So okay, sneeze avoided. I don't like it. If all we're doing is glutes and butt, I come on, we got to do something else. Furthermore, I'm not trying to walk out the gym hurt. And if the trainer isn't coming and correcting people's forms, it's all bad. It's just not for me. So I told my sister, I'm not coming to this class ever again. And Wealthy, I think you did that on purpose. I enjoy muscles. I love defined muscles. I like to be lean and muscular to my body shape, and healthy and wealthy. Thank you for the heart, the goddess. You reflect me. We're both goddesses. However, I appreciate it, and no need for apologies. I'm not doing squats for 50 minutes. It's ridiculous. There's more. My butt looks great. My legs look great. My arms look great. I feel great. To focus on just doing heavy squats for 50 minutes, I'm out of there. I'm going to turn around and leave. This ain't for me. And I know that. So at the gym, my sister invited me to this class, and I went. And for me to go to the gym I see myself as the person that you would say, wow, I want to be in shape like her. So I make it a point to outwork everyone. I admit this. I make it a point to outwork everyone and make it look easy, because it is. I'm not even sweating. What is this? Come on, you want to do 5 laps? I do that as a warm-up. This is not for me. This is for you, sister. And I love you, but I'm not coming back. And it reminded me of how I even got started on this, the hot trainer. I believe if you want to be in your best shape, get a trainer. Get a trainer. Then take it a step further. Get the most handsome, beautiful, in shape trainer as possible, because they will make you want to come to the gym, and it's great to look at. Okay? So I had a trainer. This is when I lived in London. I was taking dance classes like 2 or 3 times a week, and then an abs and butt class. I think it was Wednesdays. And one of the trainers took an interest in me, and he said, Hope, I'll train you, for free, just because if I train you, if I have you in the gym, you will attract other customers for me. And I said, bet, that's perfect for me. This is enterprising. This is, I sure will. Listen, but most people quit. If I train you, they are going to quit, because I am like a beast. I am insane. I am really, I go way too hard. I do. And I enjoy it. I like that feeling of a bit of soreness and pushing myself. I do. However, the cutie who said you should be, but I am really a darling, unless you bring me to the point where I am not. So the trainer, I won't. Listen, you can manage your asthma. That can be managed. I am going to go extremely hard initially. Maybe we can ease into it, but I'm not a professional trainer. I would do my typical workout. Now I do sexy walks. I'll do a sexy walks. And I swim. I love swimming, especially for the full body effect, and for my arms, it's the best. Yeah, however, it's not about that. It's about the power we possess within. What's up, D-Way? Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a minute. I know all is well with you. However, we want to be strong. We want to be ripped like that commercial. That's the point, to be strong and ripped, okay? And that's what we will get to. However, I digress. The fine trainer. So the fine trainer said, Hope, I'll train you. I said, great. He said, so you can come in before the class and I'll train you. And then we can do like 2-a-days. And I was thinking, I don't need to do that much, but okay, sure. And it was great. It was exceptional. I was diesel. Some people do not like that word. I like it. I was swole. I was defined. It was great. And this is why. When you have that hot trainer with the cute, like defined round butt and the nice defined arms, you will focus a lot more. Whatever it takes to get you there, just get it. If it's the hot trainer, do it. If it's the trainer that talks to you in a way that encourages you, do it. If it's the trainer that just shows you different methods of moving your body, do it. Because the end goal is to have that dream body or the fitness or the increased endurance or whatever your goal is for being in the gym. The fact is, the goal will only be accomplished once you have, what's up, Zach? I just checked out your live. I peek in on your live. So I did hear that you're going to Orlando, and I do come and I tap the screen and add a bunch of likes, and then I bounce. So what's up, Zach? With the trainer, the hot trainer will always get you to the best shape you can be. And that's the point. That is the point. I would encourage anyone and everyone to get the hottest trainer they can find and see what happens in 6 months. See what happens to your body, to your endurance, just to the way that you view going to the gym, because you'll feel encouraged. You will, especially when you have that toned hot guy or girl telling you to do X amount of reps or what have you. So with my trainer, 1 hour to gym. Yes. 1 hour. Okay. So what is your program in the gym? Because as I explained and continue to like the live, I'm always sharing my stories. And this is my story of my hot trainer, which was great. What is push day? Is that when you push yourself to the limit? Push yourself further than you ever could? Is that what it is? My hot trainer was great until I think he said, again, I was living in London at the time. Okay. All right. So it's upper day. Okay. I think it got a bit weird because he did want more than just to train me. And the deal was, this is a symbiotic relationship. What's up, James? I'm here to deliver a good word. I'm always here to deliver a good word. I'm actually talking about my trainer's story. My trainer did... He started to like more than just training me. And I think he had said, I come all the way out here to train you and I'm low on gas. And I was like, I don't know why you're telling me that. You're a trainer anyway. You have to come to the gym. You have other clients. I don't know why this is a part of our discourse. However, let's finish off this set. And well, then I moved. So it didn't just end. I left London. However, he was a great trainer and I don't remember his name, and I would shout him out because he was fine. He was fine, and he really got me into exceptional shape. And the greatest thing about being in shape is your mind is in shape. the clarity of your thoughts. You feel better just when you are in the best shape that you can be. Now, and yes, I agree, never mess with the clients, but maybe that works for some people. I don't know. That's not, maybe it works for some people. So, staying in shape, as I tell you, when I do my morning sexy walks, it's about clarity of mind. And I'll take it a step further. I used to listen to uplifting music or uplifting message. Now I like to just listen to nature. I just like to not listen to anything. And I shared this with, I believe it was my live yesterday, how I listen to less. I do listen to Les Brown, but I don't listen to that much. What's up, Nick NY? Good to see you again. I'm here to give you an encouraging word. Continue to like the live. Continue to like the live. It's important that I see the likes, and it's important that I know you're liking the live. Because if not, I don't feel liked. And everyone wants to feel liked. So, I listen to less because I do believe when we're always listening to something, music, television, a conversation, we can't truly hear ourselves. And that quiet is nice. Thank you, Rodman. I appreciate that. That quiet, hearing whatever your inner dialogue is. And just hearing yourself, hearing the outdoors, hearing the birds. Listen to that. That constant need of always listening to something for myself at times can be a distraction. It can be a distraction. Because if I seek true clarity, sometimes I do need quiet. And that's why I entitled this live, Allowing the trusting the quiet times, trust in that quiet, trust in just allowing yourself to hear your thoughts. Yeah. And even changing that dialogue of a self-critique. Maybe it's just a thought. And what I have learned, especially with meditation and my own self-reflection and with therapy, I don't have to grab onto every thought. In fact, every thought is not true. Everything, that is a fire alarm. Hold on. Something is burning. Okay, crisis avoided. Crisis avoided. I had to leave because the fire alarm went off. Something was on the stove. However, quiet times, not believing every thought that you tell yourself or you hear. It's not true. Just because something says you don't feel well, it doesn't mean you have to grasp onto that thought. Yeah, no, I didn't go down in a fiery blaze. I avoided that. I've avoided that. So how do we do this? Well, I believe with that quiet time, actually hearing the thoughts that are coming through your mind, knowing what's going on without the distraction of being on social media, hearing something, just listening to those thoughts and learning to allow them to exist. Now, this came to me through meditation, really. Through meditation, this is how I learned the process of not grasping onto a thought. If a thought says, you are fat, you are not liked, being able to say, that's there. Okay, I don't have to believe that. Where's that coming from? I didn't even know I had that thought. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Allowing your thoughts just to be that. They don't have to be you. They don't have to be something you define yourself by. Now, it can be helpful to know what's going on and know that these thoughts are there for some sort of reason. But the ability not to grasp onto that and build upon it. Meaning, I don't feel good. I knew I don't feel good. People don't like me. This is why it will just spiral out of control. And quiet helps. Quiet helps because when it's quiet, like during the pandemic, I observed I enjoy quiet time. I have a large family. I have 4 sisters. I was raised with 3. I was raised in a home of 6 people. I can appreciate a group setting and I enjoy my own solitude. Solitude doesn't bring me any discomfort. I'm comfortable with my solitude. I'm comfortable with being quiet with myself. I'm comfortable just being. And to me, that is the first step, especially with being okay in the quiet times, observing how you feel when you are quiet with yourself, observing how you feel when you are observing thoughts. And this also came with meditation because I do meditate. And a meditation does not mean sitting like for an hour. Your meditation could be dancing. Your meditation could be cooking. Your meditation could just be a workout. Your meditation is what you choose to make it. For me, meditation is just doing one thing with a dedicated, concentrated effort. So if I'm running, I'm just thinking about running and I'm concentrating on that. I'm solely focused on that, not thinking about everything else. Allowing that one thought just to be focused on. And also, I have a meditation on my YouTube channel, which is Hope is Speaking. You can check out, I have a 20-minute meditation and I have affirmations that I also do. There's a plethora of meditations on YouTube. And I recommend, if you want to get into meditation, which has been transformative for me, start with 1 minute, start with 2 minutes. Put some headphones in, listen to the meditation, go on with your day. Do that for 30 days. First thing when you wake up, because when you first wake up, your brain is operating at, it's a specific megahertz frequency. However, your brain is at its most impressionable. So whatever you tell your brain right when you wake up, you grasp onto it. So if you grab your phone and look at messages or look at past due bills or look at emails that you have to respond to or think how bad the day is, that is starting the course of your day. The start of your day is one of the most pivotal times. To me, the start and the completion. Because this is why I don't sleep with my phone in my room. And I have explained this several times in my life. When I was a flight attendant, I was a flight attendant for 15 years. I retired in 2020 to go into speaking professionally, and I have a TED Talk in October, so that is a huge accomplishment. However, while I was a flight attendant, I was solely controlled by my phone. Meaning, if there was a cancellation, or if there was a delay, or if I was moved to a different flight, I always had to be available with my phone. I always had to have my phone there. So in the hotel, on the plane, off the plane, walking to the gate, walking in the airport, walking to the hotel, on my layover, I always had to have my phone. Now, within flying, we have time limitations. So we actually have something within our contracts as a flight attendant that states that we are free from phone contact, which means you don't need your phone. So when you would land an hour after arrival, you were, I believe, like 12 hours free from phone contact. So for those 12 hours after landing, the company could not contact you for a flight or anything of that nature. And I explained that because the moment that I retired from flying, I immediately had to undo my prior life. The first thing for me was get the phone out of my room. I do not want the phone in my room because I'm not attached to my phone at all. I will go hours without looking at my phone, and my ringer hasn't been on for years. For years. Unless I'm actually by the phone, I'm typically not going to know if you've called. And everyone in my inner circle knows this. Send me a message. Most things can be discussed via message. However, it was important for me not to be disturbed while sleeping. It was important for me not to wake up and grab my phone. And it was important for me to cut that old self to come into a new space in my life, which meant no phone in my bedroom. In fact, no electronics. Occasionally, I would bring my laptop into my bedroom, but my room is a electronic-free space. I make every space in my home intentional. Meaning, when I'm speaking on TikTok or YouTube or doing anything productivity, I also say productivity, I don't say work. I have designated spaces for that. And it helps actually within your brain. Because when you bring your work into your room, especially into your bed, your brain is connecting the two. I don't care for that. When I go into my bedroom, I'm going to sleep. That's it. I want to sleep, a restful sleep. Also, because I was a flight attendant for 15 years, thank you. I am important. Thank you. I am intentional about sleep. Blackout curtains, lovely high thread count sheets, a mixture of down pillows and cotton-filled pillows. But I don't really like cotton-filled pillows. And no electronics. I want my brain to be programmed that when I'm going into my room, it is to rest. Because for so many years, well over a decade, I didn't even have the ability to sleep in my bed for 30 days at a time. I was always in hotels. Now, that wasn't completely true because I would take blocks of months off, a month off, 2 months off, 3 months off. The longest time I took off was like 7 months, but I would take off months at a time. Outside of that, I was constantly sleeping in hotels. So I was training myself to appreciate the fact that I am now sleeping in my home, in my bedroom every night consistently, without the disturbance of a phone, without the disturbance of a message. And I took it a step further. I do not pick up my phone until about 2 or 3 hours after I wake up. Now, I wake up pretty early because I have an intentional morning routine. Right when I wake up, I journal. I always have a notepad and a pen. And the first thing I do, the first page right when I wake up, is usually my dream or whatever's on my mind. So, I heard the dog barking. Today's going to be a great day. I'm feeling good about everything I have. Just to get all of that out of my brain. Thank you for liking the live. Because otherwise, I'm carrying that into the day, whatever it is. If it's, I can't wait to eat a hamburger with mustard I don't know. But write it down, get it out of your brain for me. That helps with my clarity. The second page is affirmations, but it's different. I've gone from saying I am love, I am feeling positive, I am healthy, wealthy, and wise. There is no emergency. Let me tell you this, here I go. You aren't calling me for an emergency. And I'll get to that point. I ain't the one to call. I will find out once I leave, and let me get to that. So now the first page is whatever's on my mind or my dream. My second page is I am experiencing the feeling of love. I am experiencing the feeling of security. I am experiencing the feeling of joy, health, and wealth. I am experiencing, so I have gone through a phase with my affirmations of saying I am, to I am feeling, to good morning, Counselor Cat Mom. Great to see you. Great to see you. I am, to I am feeling, to I am experiencing the feeling. That's programming. That's setting an intention within my body and brain. I am experiencing the feeling of safety. I am experiencing the feeling of productivity. I am experiencing the feeling of feeling good, hydrated, and consuming nutritious foods. That's the second page. The third page, I am experiencing the abundant gratitude of this day. I am experiencing the abundant gratitude of feeling healthy in my mind, body, and soul. I am experiencing the abundant gratitude of the blessings in this day, and I fill out the full page. Then I meditate for about 20 minutes. And then I immediately go into hydrating, telling myself I love myself in the mirror, and going outside, walking the dog, swimming, whatever workout. Then the phone comes. And here I go. This is why. Now I'm prepared. Now I'm prepared for whatever emergency or anything that anyone has to tell me. I've journaled, I've prepared myself, I've cleared my mind, I am ready. I have fortified myself for the day, at the start of the day, because I have to set my day within myself before it's set for me. If I roll over and pick up the phone and see that someone I love is hurt or was in an accident, that sets my trajectory of the day into an area that I can't control. But since I automatically set my day up this way with my journaling exercises, deep breathing, meditation, what have you, for the first hour, hour and a half of the day, now I'm prepared for whatever comes, and I can handle it. I'm not going to lose it. I'm not going to just jump out of myself. And I took it a step further. I told my family, I live in Hawaii. I told my family and close friends, check this. Thank you. I love you too. Check this out. I'm going to take it a step further. Here I go. Don't call me before 10 a.m. Hawaii time, and don't call me after 10 p.m. Hawaii time. And this is why. After, and I mean don't call me with an emergency. I'm happy not to come to your funeral. I shared with my close family and friends, Do not call me with no bad news after 10 p.m. or before 10 a.m. Here's why. After 10 p.m. Hawaii time, there's nothing I can do. I can't drive to you, especially if you're in mainland U.S. or anywhere around the world. I can't take a flight. There's nothing I can do but sit, stew, worry, cry about what's going on with you. After 10 a.m. Hawaii time, I've already done my meditations. I've already done my journaling. I've worked out. I hydrated. I am ready for whatever news that you need to tell me to come to me. I'm prepared. I've already organized my brain. I'm ready. I don't allow just anything to come to me at any time. And the added layer is my phone's not even in my room. I will have to physically get up, walk out the room, open the door. There's a series of events that I have to do to get to the phone. I don't let people just ruin my day. I don't let people come into my energy and dump whatever they would like onto it. I've set up boundaries to prevent that from happening. I've vocalized it. I've set the boundary of leaving my phone outside of my room. I've set a routine of just clearing myself, setting myself to prepare myself for the beauty of the day. So that's not going to happen. I'm not the one you are going to reach for to call. I can assure you of that. And everyone in my family knows. They will look at the phone and say, you know what? Hope's not going to pick up. She already told you. They know that. I'm not the one to call. I'm the one to call for an inspiring message. I'm the one to give you something uplifting. But if you just want to call me to discuss, to gossip, to talk about who died, to talk about who lost their house or who's getting divorced or any bad news, I ain't the one. And I let people know that. You know that right now. All the people in the live already know. Oh, okay. Well, I couldn't call her for that. No, I don't want to know. I don't even like that type of message. I don't want that type of energy. But I have been diligent about setting up boundaries and barriers to prevent that from occupying my space. The phone is not important to me. My phone is not important to me. And I see how easily an individual can allow their energy or their thought pattern or their direction to be easily diverted. If I'm with a friend, my phone is never out. My phone's not out. Now, if my friend is a surgeon or a doctor or needs to have their phone because of their occupation, I understand that. Outside of that, that is distracting. I'm here with you. I've allowed and blocked out time to be with you, to have a tea, to have a meal, to have a chat. The moment that you have your phone on the table, upright, checking it, calling people and saying, hey, I'm with a friend, you can just call them back. Actually picking up the phone to tell them I'm going to call you back isn't necessary. Now, this is for me. This is for me. How others approach this is how they do it, and everyone has our own perfect way. This is for me. How easily you can be distracted by simply having your phone upright while eating with a friend. That's how easily individuals can be distracted. But once you're aware, or how I've been aware, is I am choosing to give attention to you at this time. My phone will be here after we finish. Yeah, well, Clarify that, Amani. Life meaning life. Clarify that. Just because I don't understand. So I will always ask for a clarification. Furthermore, most of y'all ain't that important to be having the phone up in the first place. Again, unless you are a surgeon or something, you can choose to just dedicate your focus and time to a person or whatever you're doing at that time. At that time. And here's the added benefit. Phones are gross. Don't put it on my dinner table. Don't put it on, no, I'm not telling, well, Amani, again, I clarified this is for me. This is for me. I don't tell anyone how to proceed in their lives. Anyone. Now, when I'm speaking of this is my family. So what someone chooses to do, I don't dictate anyone's actions outside of hope. Me. I'm not going to tell you what to do ever. I'm telling you what I do for clarification. And let me clarify that. What I was saying is, I don't believe there's a difference between calling someone later and telling them you are intending on calling them back. But that's probably an added thing of feeling. And this is my thoughts only. Again, I don't tell anyone not to have their phone on the table. I will see it. I'm aware of it, but I don't implement my rules onto anyone. This is why I've told my family, do not call me between these times. If they call me, that's fine. I just won't have my phone. However, the sense of urgency with phones that's my thing. That has nothing to do with anyone outside of me. And furthermore, people show up how they want to show up. So that's the clarification for that. Oftentimes it's up to the person. It's not so there. And this goes back to me actually having to always be connected to my phone for my occupation. Of course, we're at dinner. We're engaging with each other's energy. Yes, I will be probably that auntie that says, put your phones away. But I don't. I'm aware of it, and I don't. The phone just isn't important to me. What's important to me is my life and when I'm engaging with someone. And all of this came into more realizations with things that have transpired in my life. I've shared on my live my few near-death experiences. That puts a lot of things into focus. A phone doesn't mean anything to me. I just got on social media maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. I'm not connected to any of those things. However, if an individual is, that's great. We have to do what fuels us and what keeps us in a safe space and brings us some sort of happiness. And Nick and Y, I love that aunt. Put your phones away. Y'all are just waiting for a notification from Yahoo. No one's contacting you. That's the difference. Your notification from Yahoo is maybe it's important to you. And I understand that fully. However, I like my real life and defining what is real for me is when I'm engaging with another person. That's it. Uh, After the last plane events that I have, yeah, a reminder to pay your phone bill. That's what you're waiting for. That's why your phone is up. No, ain't nobody calling you. Ain't nobody calling you. You looking at a reminder. There's a sale at. Sure, it brings some sort of feeling of importance. Okay, I digress. Uh, Yeah, well, maybe you did. Maybe we crossed paths in the airport. I mean, I always say I know I've traveled more than anyone that I've ever met, and maybe we did cross paths in the airport. However, after the last plane event with the left engine failure and the emergency landing, that also brought a lot of clarity to what is important for me. And a lot of this isn't important. Um, the relationships I have with family members or friends that are real, um, goals of mine, or building something that's purposeful or meaningful. That's important for me. The phone is not. A notification is not. Even calling someone back is not important to me. But that's what I found within myself in that situation. Okay. All right, Counselor Cat Mom, then I'll see you. I'll see you when you come back. And finding what is important for you is finding out what was important for me allowed me to sweep away everything that wasn't. And because I was able to trust what I felt, especially in the quiet times, because trust me, everything that you believe is important in life changes when you see life differently. And when I was contacted by the pilot that day while I was working a flight, and he said, "Hope, listen, we are running our checklists for the left engine. There are some issues and we will be making emergency landing." Everything that I felt was important in life ceased to be important. And because I didn't go down in a fiery blaze, I'm here talking to you. It allowed me to restructure what I felt was important. It allowed me to restructure what this experience is for me. This is why a message on a phone has no importance for me if I'm truly engaging with a human being. Because on a deeper level, I feel the gift of a presence of another human being is the gift. Is the gift. The moments that I'm able to share with another human being, which has been coordinated through this thing called life, in that moment of time, is the gift. There may be something that I can learn from that individual, or I can learn from that moment, or I can learn just from how the individual sees life, or how they respond to what life gives them. And that's why it's important for me to be purposeful and intentional when engaging. People who have transitioned in my life have taught me to truly be intentional and purposeful and present when engaging. When I moved to Maui 4 years ago, I had someone close to me transition the day that I moved to Maui. And what I found in that time of grief is to truly enjoy those moments with anyone, because that's what we have. That's why I take it the way I do. This is why when I'm engaging with a friend or a family member, I'm present. They will see me look into their eyes. I'm listening to them. I'm looking at their body movements. I'm truly present and feeling them. I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not seeing who's messaging me. I'm not answering a call. The person who's trying to reach me will get a response at my convenience. Now, if you're my father, he will continue to call at least 20 times, which is frightening. Dad, I've told you, if you call me more than once, it does not increase my sense of urgency of responding, because I know you just are calling to say, hey, can you pick up some cake? No, Dad, don't do that. Don't do that. Last time I got a lot of calls, that's because someone was in the hospital. Okay, I understand that. Still, when I see the phone call, I will respond then. The urgency of just responding, that has no importance for me. My life is to be lived my way. And I'm different in that sense. This isn't a judgment of others. This is a statement on how I see it and how I operate. We are all independent contractors. So I am not ever going to advocate that someone operate by this way. That's dumb. Everyone sees life in their own way, and they live it in their own way. That's the beauty of it. And that's what I found through traveling and living in different countries and being a flight attendant and learning languages and all of that. How dare I ever expect someone to see life the way I see it? We all have a different walk of life. I completely understand that. In fact, I have a higher reverence for that, because that's true respect. For me to allow another human being just to exist without me voicing my judgments, without me voicing how I feel they can live life better. I don't know how someone can live life better. This is purely from my brain of how I've seen life, through my upbringing, through my social structure of the country I was raised in, through the state, through my socioeconomic status as a child. There's so many factors that how dare I tell someone this is how you should do things? I don't know that. I don't even know if a person will understand it or see it through my vision. And that's a part of humanity that I respect. Yeah, to be more present. And for me to be present is to truly be there without checking my phone. Really, I am the least. When I say I've been off social media, I had Facebook when it first started, like maybe 2008 or 2009, something. And I was living in London at the time. And by 2010-ish, I saw the change within my friends. And we were all in our early 20s, living in London full time. And it went from one summer taking pictures on our camera phones to the next summer, everyone was posting to Facebook. And while we were at dinner, everyone's on their Facebook. And to me, it just felt like we became disconnected. So I consciously said, I don't want a part of this because I'm not advertising myself. Now, I made the choice at that time in 2010, when or if I choose to be on social media, it will be because I'm advertising something business wise. However, personal, I don't need it. So anytime it was business wise, something I was promoting, I had a vintage clothing website because I love secondhand clothing, which I've always shared. I'm big with sustainability, and through every country that I've traveled and all of my layovers over 60 countries, I would find a flea market or a festival or a thrift store or a vintage shop in every country in the world and buy. And I acquired so many things that I began to sell on Poshmark and sell on eBay. And then I started my own website. So I then started an Instagram for that. But outside of that, I was always present because I was the only friend that wasn't on social media. And also, because I was traveling as a flight attendant for the past 15 years, my life was social media. I was able to engage and see these things that were only seen on social media. So I understand that as well. Most individuals don't have that story of being in Tel Aviv one week and then Rome and the next week and Senegal the next week and Brazil. I was able to see all of these things. So my social media was truly through my eyes. I did not have to live it through my phone. So for me to be present and really traveling allowed me to stay in that presence. Because as a flight attendant, I'm here for 50 hours. I'm here for 28 hours. I'm here for 36 hours. I am intentional about these hours that I'm here. Yeah, I'll take pictures, but I don't care to really promote that. It was my life. This is purely because I'm a speaker now, and I enjoy TikTok. I enjoy the app. I enjoy connecting through this app. I enjoy what this app brings. However, if you ever meet me in real life, more than likely I will be like talking to someone because I talk to everyone, and my phone is not out. It's not out. And that's how I have diligently practiced the art of being present, the art of being present in life. And it's always taken up a notch, like when I shared with the emergency landing. The moment that you realize how quickly life can no longer be life, you see it differently. Yes, I enjoy real life, baby. I'm here living. I'm living. Y'all ain't living if you're always looking at a screen. For me. Take it or leave it. This isn't gospel. This isn't truth. This is my truth. This is a truth. It isn't the truth. However, I'm here living. I'm here living. I'm not even counting my steps. I'm just taking them. My sister said, I took X amount of steps. I don't even know. I don't know what that means. What does that mean to me? Now, again, I walk and I'm a marathon runner. I'm a long distance runner. So that doesn't mean anything to me. But I don't know how many steps I take. I just step. And I keep going. You over here telling me you took 20,000 steps. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means to me. Congratulations. But okay. And yes, that's just how we roll, Joy for Life. We out here living. We are out here living. My sister, and I have 4 of them. If anyone would like a sister, I'm happy to loan a sister. They say, Hope is always talking. Yes, I am. I love to engage with human beings. I just like learning about people. People are interesting. A lot of you are boring, but some people are very interesting. Just upbringings and what they've gone through life and what they've seen or how they've handled things. And I love that. Please continue to like the live, double tap the screen. Yeah, for real. It may not even be a loan. It may be a permanent, go ahead, take her. I'm kidding. I'm really not. My sisters are great. Thank you, Nick and Y. Thank you. When I say I'm living, my nieces, they say, yeah, she's crazy. Maybe, but I'm out here to live. I am out here to live. And I learned this just from flying. There's no way that you are going to pay me to fly around the world, and I am not going to utilize it for everything. Of course I am. Let's get up to at least 5,000 likes. Thank you. Where's Mag? He's usually in the live. I love to, but here's the thing. A lot of people say this. I don't see it. This ain't a dress rehearsal. It's not. But the moment that you actually believe that is when your life changes. If you're saying this isn't a dress rehearsal, but you are allowing fear to stop you from changing an occupation, from starting something new, from leaving a relationship, from leaving a place that you live, from exploring, from taking a vacation, I don't believe you. Because you ain't living it. You're saying it and it sounds good, but you're not doing it. You aren't. So be about it. Don't just talk about it. Be about it. Is it difficult? Maybe, but it's more difficult just staying in the same old ish. It's more difficult saying, I wish I could go out there and play, but I'm too afraid. It's more difficult saying, man, I should have left this cat years ago, but I don't know how it is to be single. And I'm not going to have that story. I've lived it. And it's stifling. It's stuffy. It's restrictive. It allows your skin to get all dried up. And I'm not walking around with some dried up skin. My skin is going to glow and be bright and be soft and be smooth. And my smile is going to be bright. And I have a vibrance because I've constantly challenged myself to say, I want that. I know it's going to take more out of me, but I'm going. And there's a beauty that shines within you. There's also a true diligence and resilience and pride that you find in yourself when you do it. Yes, vibrancy, being robust, truly feeling that joy of, man, I did that. What else can I do? I did it again. What else can I do? Man, that was hard and I did it. I am truly a resilient creature. That thing that's born into you changes your life, and unknowingly you're changing the lives of others, because people are always watching you. Maybe family members and maybe work colleagues. You're welcome, but they're watching you. I can't stop now. What am I gonna do? Turn around and say go back? No, I can't. I gotta keep going. I know it's hard. I know I doubt myself. And I know you doubt yourself, because I have. But keep going. Don't tell me, there's more to life. How do you know? You've been doing the same thing and telling everybody, I know there's more. But when the Lord tells me I can go, maybe he's waiting for you to free yourself and get going. Maybe that's the blessing. Maybe the blessing is if you're made in its image, then you are a part of it. Maybe you are the part of it. I'm not waiting on anyone to tell me to go. I'm already gone. Because if I'm made in its image, then I am divine. Then I get to tell myself, yeah, it's for you. Maybe I get to be the one to say, whoa, all of these things are coming to help me. Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe since I'm a masterpiece, I'm a part of the master. I got to go. There's more for me. There's always more. I'm not going to settle for this. You can ask any of my ex-boyfriends. I will leave. I will go and say, you know what? This was great, but it ain't for me no more. Time to go. Time to go. Love you. It's been great. Learned a lot, but I got to go. I'll know when it's it, but this ain't it. And I trust myself. I'm going. I'm going. When I decided to take on speaking professionally, looky here. Good morning. Yeah, I'm here in the morning. It's good to see you, Paper Chaser. I know you burning up because it's hot. Where are you, in Bakersfield? I told myself this is for me. And I had taken a piece of paper and wrote a list. Thank you for continuing to like the live. After the emergency landing on the plane, and it changed my life. In fact, the emergency landing on the plane, when the left engine went out on the Boeing 737, and we made an emergency landing in Great Falls, Montana, that is the speech that I'm giving for my TED Talk in October. That life-changing event that allowed me to sit for 90 days. I took 90 days from flying because I had post-traumatic stress from the emergency landing and everything that transpired. And I wrote a list. What do I want out of this life? Do I want to just tell everybody how I came back from France and how I learned another language and how I can jump on the plane and go everywhere and I've shopped in all these countries? Is that what my life's about? Is it? Because if it is, continue flying. But if it's not, Hope, maybe this is your turnaround moment. Maybe this time you can use this as the fuel for your next fortune. Maybe this thing that has been life-changing is the thing that opens the door for your next life. That's what I told myself. And now I'm proud to say I'm a TED speaker. That same event is the basis of the speech that got me to the TED stage, which I'm doing in October. You can go to my link in bio and click on TED Talk and see, because that was something that I only dreamed of. Now, I have brought dreams into my reality so many times that I knew it would come, but I did not know that that was the way it would come. I didn't know from my ability to speak that the substance from an emergency landing would turn into someone saying that needs to be heard on a stage such as the TED stage. I had no idea. But the moment that I said yes, it started to come closer to me. The moment that I said no to this life and yes to that, that meant I'm working towards it. And sometimes that's all it takes. Saying yes. Saying yes. Yes, flying is a dream. Yes, I've been to all of these countries. Yes, I've been to some of the most notable events in the world that people Google online and look at, and celebrities and this and that and running the marathon and all that. Sure, you did it. So what? What's next? What's next? You just want to be the storyteller of telling everybody that you did? Or are you the storyteller telling people what you are doing? It's a big difference. There's a big difference. I seek to be the one to tell you, just do it. Look what I'm doing. I had no idea, but I'm doing it. I'm in process. I'm not going to sit around and be one of the old heads saying, yeah, you know, 40 years ago, I don't care about that. That was then. I'm not using the stories from 5, 10, 20 years ago. What are you doing now to craft the new stories? That's more powerful. I don't want to sit and hear what you did years ago. What are you doing now? So many people are defined by what they did. I want to be defined by what I'm doing. I'm no longer defined by what I did. I will only be defined by what I am doing. What are you doing now? What is challenging you now? What are you building now? How are you motivated now? How are you changing your life now? Whose life are you changing now? Someone's life is changed solely because of a dream that I am realizing now. I want my power to be growing in this moment. I don't want to be defined by something I did 10, 20 years ago. It's great. It's a part of my history, but I want to be defined so much that I am constantly striving, that I forget about accomplishments, and they only mean something for that moment. I thought running the marathon, New York City Marathon, was a big thing. But in reality, it was only a challenge for me. Wow, I did it. I've done 2 miles. I've done 5 miles. I've done 6 miles. I've done 10 miles. I've done 12 miles, 15 miles, 16 miles, 18 miles, 20 miles, 22 miles, 24 miles, 26 miles. I'm done. Okay. What now? If I did it once, can I do it again? Sure. So I did the New York City Marathon 2 years in a row consecutively, just to challenge myself. I didn't even care if anyone knew it. In fact, the medals, I give them away. I give them to my niece. Here, take the, it doesn't mean anything to me. I have the story. What's up, tree bark? I have the muscles. I have the views. I already did it. But what's next? What's next? I don't care to tell you I'm going to this concert. What's the concert that you're setting up for yourself? And I shared this in a message. I see all the time on the app individuals that say how life-changing a concert was. And I think, well, that's just because your own life is boring. And boring in the sense that there's nothing for you to strive towards that impresses you. Not just, I got a stellar review at my job. So what? Thank you. I am a firecracker. I tell my mom that. She says, girl, you too little to be talking like that. I say, hey. Dynamite comes in small packages, okay? And I'm not that small. I may be slim, but I'm strong like bull. I'm looking to impress myself. I'm constantly impressing myself. It could be from my workout this morning. It could be from the consistency of my workout. It could be the pride that I show up with every day. Being honest with myself, being honest with friends, setting boundaries, saying, hey, you know, that last interaction, I value our time together. However, in every interaction, you show up 30 minutes late. So check this out. If you continue to show up 30 minutes late, I will no longer set times to be around you because I value our time together and I value our time. And I'm letting you know this as a boundary because I've told you that I value our friendship. I value our time together, but I don't value when you disvalue our time together. That was a life-changing event for me to be able to know that I can set these boundaries in a positive way with people I love. Don't waste my time. My time is all I have. Money, you can always get back. You can steal money. You can make money. You can fart in a jar for money. But my time, I don't ever get back. And it's going. So I value it. This is why I started with the phone thing. I don't care about this phone. I really, really don't. If someone calls me, I will call them back at my convenience. I'm not picking up the phone to say, hey, I'm doing something. I'll call you back. Why? I'm breaking the connection with the person. They know I'll call them back. And a lot of people know Hope will get to me when she gets to me, because I will. There's certain people that are higher on the list, but a lot of y'all ain't on the list. I will call you when I want to call you, if I choose to call you back. There's the other thing. I may be on a hike in the mountains where your phone call didn't even come in. If you call me and say, hey, I called you, why didn't you call me back? I'm going to hang up. What do you need to tell me? If you called me to tell me that you called me, great. Congratulations for you. But I don't know what that means for me. And I have a sister who does that. So don't, if anyone ever has my personal number, do not call me to tell me that you called me. I don't care. You got me on the phone now. You called me to tell me that you called me. There's no sense of urgency for me at all. I'm speaking. I'm crafting other things in life. Get off my phone. You should be lucky that I picked up your call in the first place. Send it to me in a message. Thank you. The business traveler, yes, I'm traveling. What you got to say to me? That's important. Nothing. How you doing? I'm always doing great. What do you want? Now, if it's my parents and a few other people, the response is different. But other than that, what? I don't care just to have a meaningless conversation. And I'm reminded of this because my mom shared with my sister, Hope is really about that life. Don't call me to tell me no one died. Don't call me to tell me how someone got cheated on. I don't care about that. And why do you feel some sort of inspiration to share a message like that? I'm going to question why I'm talking to you. Only certain people can call me to tell me certain people died. If it's a family member, only my parents and maybe a sister. But other than that, you do not have the permission to call me to tell me somebody died. Okay? And you just eager to tell, now I got to call so-and-so. You're weird. Get off my phone. Okay? And only do it within the hours that I tell you, because otherwise I'm not picking up the phone. Do you see? I'm very diligent about my life. I'm diligent and intentional about everything. I'm intentional about the words that I say because they're building my life. I don't even joke about certain things. I won't jokingly say certain things because I know the power in me. I know the power of my words. And I know what words are doing. So there's certain things I just don't say. I won't even joke about. I'm intentional about what I watch. I don't watch a lot. I haven't had a TV in my adult life. I prefer to read or go outside or journal or cook or tie-dye a shirt or make incense or water plants or paint. I will do something else than watch someone else's imagination on a screen. My imagination is great. I'm intentional about what I eat. Everything for me is intentional because it's bringing something out of me. I'm intentional about my rest because for years I would be up all night. When I was based in London doing flights from London to LA consecutively, I would be up all night for days at a time. So I take my rest seriously. This is also why I don't have my phone in my room. You ain't waking me up to tell me, oh, did you see a show? No. You know I didn't see that show. I'm hanging up. Because people will drive you crazy, but I don't allow anyone to drive me crazy because I don't give them the keys. People cannot drive you crazy if you don't give them the keys. And the key to discretion and the key to being discerning is to know what I allow in and what I don't. And that's with everything. That's with food. That's with relationships. That's with, no, you aren't. And neither am I. My phone hardly rings because I got the message through to everybody. Don't call me with no nonsense. And furthermore, certain people's calls I'm just not picking up. Certain calls I'm not picking up. I am in charge of my life. A message isn't. A phone call isn't. I have to be intentional, especially being on this journey speaking. I can only speak about what I am currently doing. I will cut people off, and they know that. I have a very small circle, and I'm okay with that. I am my favorite. I've always said that. I am my best friend. I have to know me inside and out. I have to shed parts of me that no longer are allowing me to progress. I have to learn new areas of me. I have to learn a lot about me in every moment of the day. That means I can only allow so much to infiltrate. And I'm discerning about who I have around me. Your circle will dictate everything. Certain whippersnappers, now I'll talk like my parents and people in my family. Certain whippersnappers just won't ever have contact with me. And I can love you and love you from afar. And at times, I believe it gets misconstrued. If I don't like you, it doesn't mean I don't love you. I just don't think about you. I don't wish ill will on you. I just don't think about you. Any friendships that may have just been outdated, I don't think of them in negative terms. There's things that I've taken from it that I will always carry with me. And then I go on with life. I cannot like you and just not think of you. Not think negatively of you. Just, there's a void. I have a path that I'm on, and it takes a lot of discretion and diligence to stick on to that. Thank you. This is why I speak. This is the gift, okay? But someone needs to hear that. That's okay to say, I love you and I'm leaving you. Because there's something more for me. And this isn't about you. It's actually more about me. Even if it was something the person you did. Sometimes we outgrow people. We outgrow thoughts. We outgrow conversations. We just outgrow people. That's a part of it. I'm not going to fight to keep you in my life when I know I've outgrown you. That's not helping either of us. In fact, that's hindering my growth if I haven't grown into a space where I say, this space is no longer the space for me to occupy. If I'm still in a space where I need to be here because they need me and they've done this for me and what are they going to think? I haven't learned the lesson. The lesson is it's nothing against you or them. It's just that you're going into a new space. That's it. That's it. That's it. And specifically, both in professional and personal. when I chose to retire from flying, I shared about this how I had intertwined my self concept with what I do. Do not confuse what you do with who you are. Again, do not confuse what you do with who you are. Your job is just your means to acquire financial abundance. It's not actually you. And because flying is intertwined so much with my lifestyle, it's more than a job that you clock in and clock out, because you travel with people and you're in different time zones and you're moving around and you grow with these other flight attendants that are in that same space and multilingual and expanded minds and all of these things. It was a difficult process for me to detach to the two. Thank you, Eve, for the roses. I appreciate you. And it took time. It took years. Part of me is still detaching from that, because from age 22 for 15 years, that's what I knew, was flying and getting up and going and packing my bag and being at the hotel and going here and going to this restaurant. And that's what I knew. So for me to choose to walk away, to start something new, I allowed myself time. In fact, I gave myself 1 full year just to do whatever I wanted. Not to think about a job, not to think about money, just to live. And this was also during the pandemic. So there was that added layer of there was really no rush. I'm in Hawaii. It's a pandemic. Everything's closed. Hawaii, Maui was paradise because there was no tourists. It was only locals. Anyone who had a secondary home on the island of Maui went to their other home. And so it was really me with myself. And it was a beautiful experience of allowing all of that to come out through journaling, through exploring, through being in the ocean and hiking and learning about myself and learning other people. What's up, Nikki Styled You? Good morning and welcome. I'm glad to see another hopeful. And truly just releasing. Because there is always a moment of releasing. Same thing with relationships. At the conclusion of every relationship, I give myself 1 year. 1 year just to figure it out, to release, to think, to rejoice, to whatever. 1 whole year, because most of my relationships have been very long. So just 1 year of not actively thinking I need a boyfriend. I don't need anything. I have me. Let me journal about this, therapy, travel, whatever. A year. And it always turns into more than that, more than a year, because I enjoy what I've learned about myself, and almost doing a worksheet of what did I learn about myself? What triggers came out in me? What do I not want to bring into the next relationship? Writing these things down and truly using that time at the conclusion of a relationship to do a self-analysis, almost like a worksheet, because we learn so much in relationship with others. And how all of this comes back to how I entitled this live, trusting that quiet time, trusting that time with oneself, trusting. Yes, exactly. And I'm excited for you, Victoria Palace 76. I'm excited for you. And here's the thing. The definition of future is the immediate time a word is written or spoken. So the future is now. You're already her. we often get it misconstrued that the future is some foreign, far off time that we can't see. The future is actually now. What's up, Detroit Sean? I love when you check in. I love when you check in, like the live. I love you. Thank you for checking in. And I sure am. Let me hydrate with that thought. And that's a part of it, Victoria Palace. Being excited for your future self. I say that every day. I'm excited for who I am. I'm excited for who I'm becoming. I'm excited for this day. Truly being in that space of excitement because, of course, I'm going to highlight the others that say, oh, this day is terrible. Everything ain't working out. Everything. Get away from me. Go. I've experienced a lot of that because I am a pastor's child. So I learned how to speak in church. I also learned about some of the craziest people have been in the church house. And I've learned to adapt and just observe. So I have a unique sense of comedy because you learn a lot in the church house. Okay, especially in these country church houses. I've done sit-ins and feet washing and what are those called? It's like a weekend of prayer and yelling and running around the church. What are those? Not a revelation. It is the word will come to me. Anyone who knows, it's not a revival, So I learned a lot about this because there we go. Thank you, Your Life, for exactly a revival. I have a lot of stories, especially from that, and what I learned from that. A revival will revive a lot. I was a child, so it was hilarious to me, the things that I would learn and how crazy I saw these individuals running around filled with the Holy Ghost. And also, sometimes the beauty of that collection of people coming together and uplifting. And that's a whole nother live that I will, in fact, I'll write that down and I'll do because I don't know why I had to be involved with washing feet. This was usually over New Year's, like a sit-in. I'm just going to leave it at that. And these people's feet definitely didn't have no pedicure, okay? And these stompers look like pterodactyl feet, similar to my father's feet. And I mentioned that because I've mentioned my father as a veteran. He was a pilot in the Vietnam War, and he goes to the VA, I think once a quarter, to get a medical pedicure. And this woman who does this medical pedicure really should be a multimillionaire, because men already don't really pay a lot of attention to their feet. Some do, but these don't. And most of these veterans, their feet look like you could strike a match and start a fire. They look like reptiles. They looked like hardened artifacts. And they look, thank you, Lamp Stewart. They look gross. And my father's never really put lotion on his feet, and it shows after years. So he'll go to the VA for his medical pedicure, and they'll clip these 4 feet thick toenails. And I will take him to the VA where he gets his medical pedicure. But I walk out when they're doing clipping the toenails. Them things fly all around the room. They're thick. I say, you know what? Bless you. However, I'm stepping out because I am not going to watch this. And I love my father, but this is more than I can take. This is more than I can take. What's up, Fun with Tammy? Hi, 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 hi. Good to see you. I step out of the room. And it's a great thing for someone to, I miss you too. I miss you too. I've been on in the mornings, and then I usually do like a cooking thing. But weekends, I take for myself. However, thank you for sharing that you miss me, because I miss you too. And anytime you miss me, go on to my YouTube. I upload all of my lives onto my YouTube, which is Hope is Speaking. And please go to the YouTube, subscribe. I upload every single live. You can just go to TikTok daily lives and you can watch them or put them on in the background. And yes. Thank you. So if you ever miss me, go on to my YouTube and I update daily. So with my dad, and the toenails, I believe that these people are doing a great service. They're doing a great work. I'll just walk out of the room, though. I will just walk out of the room. And I... Why are you supposed to be asleep? Nikki, I'm always here to make you laugh. That's the thing. That is the goal with speaking. I'm here to just bring you away from whatever you were worried about, to bring some laughter, to bring some motivation, to bring some inspiration, so you could change your mind onto a different channel. Because my mom even knows anything on the plane. I'm a great caregiver. On the plane, with my parents, yes, he did salute. I will tell him. I am a caregiver. If I'm encountered with bodily fluids and I'm in a caregiving space, it doesn't faze me. I'll just get it done. I've had to. I've been vomited on the plane. I've had projectile vomit land on me. I've had, the VA. I'm always impressed with the VA, and I have nothing but great things to say with the VA. And in fact, I've done some works, me and my sister volunteering with the VA. Yeah, I have been projectile vomited. It has happened. It's a part of it. I've had, this is why whenever you fly, what was one of the most disgusting things? You're welcome, Spanky. I went to go get the air sickness bag because as flight attendants, we would use that for everything. We would use that to heat up a baby's bottle because it's waterproof. So we would fill the air sickness bag up with hot water from the coffee maker and put the baby's bottle inside and let it sit for like 10 minutes. And that's how we would heat up the bottle. However, someone asked me, this Roomba needs to get out of here. I'm doing excellent, Jessica. I'm really happy to see you. I haven't seen you in my lives in quite a moment, so I'm very happy to see you. And continue to like the live as I move the Roomba, because I do not want this in the background. Okay, So we're at 7.6. Let's get up to 10,000. Thank you, Tammy. You shared it with more than 10 people. I really appreciate. Hi, Kakoa. How long have you been in the live? Good to see you. Good to see you. I hope you have some positivity in your day. I really do. I really do. Um, so, right. So the air sickness bag. I went to grab an air sickness bag. Ugh, I remember this. I think it was to heat up a bottle. And this is what I learned to look inside the air sickness bag. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Tammy. I appreciate you. As I went, I grabbed the air sickness bag and I put my hand to open the air sickness bag. I put my hand inside the air sickness bag, only to be met with a handful of mucus. Someone had been spitting into the air sickness bag the entire flight. So when I placed my hand inside the air sickness bag to open it, I pulled my hand out and it was covered in some random person's spit and mucus. And it was absolutely disgusting. And I learned from that moment to look inside the air sickness bag to make sure it's not used. That was gross. I have no problem with bodily fluids when I'm in caregiver mode. When I'm not, I don't want to see it. And especially like with fecal matter, I don't care to talk about it. Hi, Alfred. Great to see you. And I am so happy I am your favorite spirit. I am something great. My mom will laugh because if it's anything with poo, I don't want to hear about it. Don't tell me that you have diarrhea. Don't tell me you've been sitting on the toilet. I don't care to hear that. I don't want that visual. I don't want that thought. And so I will completely tune out. Did I have anything like that on the plane? No, but I did have someone there. It was like his urethra shut, or his bladder shut. It was an older gentleman, and he had had this happen a few times where he desperately I'll be here. He desperately needed to urinate, but he couldn't. So he came and he said, I have a problem. I said, how can I help you? He said, I desperately need to use the bathroom, but I'm not able to. Do you have a catheter? And I said, no. No. Even we have different emergency medical kits. However, we don't have that in our emergency kit. And he said, well, here's the problem. I can't physically urinate, so I actually need a catheter put in. And I said, wow, okay. Let me tell the captain, because we're going to have to do a diversion. We'll have to do an emergency landing because there was so much pressure in this gentleman's body from needing to urinate, but not being able to, that his stomach started to poke out and he was sweating and he was crying and it was beyond uncomfortable. So we did end up, we were going from, I remember we landed in Vegas. So we might have been going to San Francisco, or we had taken off from San Francisco. But I believe exactly, his pain was immense. He was crying, he was sweating, he was bright red, he was in his 70s. And he couldn't even sit because there was so much pressure. So with the emergency landing, he laid on the floor with his stomach was almost hard. And thank you, Alfred. That's kind of you. I appreciate that compliment. He was in extreme discomfort. And I was so happy that we were able to land before something ruptured. And these things would happen because the plane is a space where if you're in the airport, you are in one of the safest places. You have a police department. You typically actually have like a medical facility within the airport, like a hospital below or above. There's always like a medical facility with doctors and nurses because things happen. But if you're on the plane, these things happen, and it's quite it was illuminating to me, just the beauty of the human body. And thank you, Den, for the roses. Thank you, thank you. You're my number one gifter. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. Wow, how many what, and it keeps going. 32 roses. I love that. And it equals the number 5, which is my favorite number. Yeah, pressure will burst a pipe, and pressure makes diamonds. And even more, 41. I love that. I love that. And plus 4 plus 1, 41 is 5, which is my favorite. Thank you, York, for my roses. It illuminated me to the beauty of the human body and how quickly things can change, and how just helping someone. I don't know. I'll never see that gentleman again. However, I feel that he would be appreciative to the crew and to our fast works. I shared with you how I've had passengers expire. We would say expire, not die, or what is the other word? Not die. We say what is the word that we use outside of passing away? Yes, 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 yes. Transition. Thank you, Lamp. Thank you, Joy for Life. Thank you. See, my hopefuls always come. I had that happen, or deceased, but on the plane, as crew members, we would have to say they expired. We wouldn't use the word deceased or die until a doctor and the coroner actually came to declare that. And how that was life changing. That also led to my message today of being diligent when I'm with someone. I had never just seen someone transition in front of me, in my arms, just go from a living, breathing human to just a body, and how that allowed me to see the fragility of life and the beauty of life, and how this experience can be watered down with meaningless things that mean nothing. I know what is important in my life. I know what's meaningful in my life, and I put energy into that. The rest, I don't. They don't. Yes, our souls are eternal. I believe that. And that's why you often hear me say, I don't care about that, because I don't. I think sometimes once we realize what should be cared about versus what we do not need to care about, we can allow our life to blossom. Because there's a lot I don't care about. It just has no meaning to me. It just feels life with meaningless stuff. After, yeah, and I'll make that useful for me. Gorilla shake, baby. Everything matters, but nothing matters. And in that everything, I know exactly what those things are to me. Sure. Or you have to add a third person. Hope. York, an airplane pilot, and a brain surgeon, and Hope. You forgot that third person. So when I speak about not picking up the phone or not responding to things that are meaningless, it's because of these incidents. After my father had a stroke, I saw, okay, this is meaningful. This time with this person. Yay! I am so happy you did that. Oh my gosh. You have really inspired my day. I am so happy. Was the process easy for you, Tammy? So Tammy was on my live when it does, doesn't it? And then you don't have to do anything. Tammy was on my live when I dyed my eyebrows with men's mustache dye, and it just makes life so much easier. It does. I am so happy. Yay, 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 yay. Oh my gosh. You see? Reach one, teach one. It brings out your eyes. You don't have to fill in your brows. Your life is forever changed, Tammy. I told you something good. And it's so inexpensive because let's switch gears to beauty. Yeah, but again, lamp Stewart, sure. But I'm going to go out on a ledge. I practice that. I don't know if people do. I don't know what people do. I'm already in that space. I don't know. As easy as your attention can be taken away, I don't know if that's presence, but whatever. Great. Beauty is a great thing, and sharing beauty secrets is an even better thing. And dyeing eyebrows is amazing. Because I'm always outside anyway, you're more likely to catch me on a hiking trail or running or just outside than, well, you won't catch me in a club. You definitely aren't going to catch me in a club. A lot of these social places I won't be in. Maybe a museum, a farmer's market. But in all of these places outside, it helps to just have, your full defined black. Okay, so is your hair naturally dark brown? Because that would be helpful. Wow. I'm so happy that I helped you, Tammy. That is great. Isn't it great? It is great. And you can keep the shape to your brows when you dye them. Oh my gosh. I feel so inspired that you shared that, Tammy. I feel like I'm spreading the gospel. I really am. Yes. Hello, T. Wheeler. Good to see you. Good to see you. Look at all my hopefuls up in the building. So for my live today, my second live, I was thinking of doing something outside. But often when I'm outside, sometimes the phone overheats. I'm having a fabulous, fortune-filled, fortified, loving, encouraging, magnificent day. It came out delicious. It came out delicious. What's up, Hara? So I will either do something outside for my second live today. Maybe I'll go do a swimming live or something, or I will do another cooking live because I cook every day. So any feedback? Another cooking live, something outside. You'll pass on the beauty thing? Well, then that's for you to. A compliment is a compliment. To me, a compliment is a compliment. Meaning, if it's a man or a woman and they give me a compliment, I take it as a compliment. I have no discomfort with the same sex complimenting me, and but men often, you guys have your own thing. So sure. Okay. What is my diet like? I just eat what I like. I eat mostly plant-based. So after this live, I'm going to make some avocado toast, and I love plantains. I'm going to have a side of plantain, and maybe I'll just make it a sandwich, an avocado, tomato, plantain sandwich. I eat I just eat great food. I eat really delicious food that I like to make with seasonal produce. I do eat my cake, Jaywalk. Don't play with me. Yes, I do eat my cake, and I love my chocolate chip cookies. Maybe I'll make some chocolate chip cookies because that's my favorite thing, oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. Um, I make a lot of like agua frescas with hibiscus. I'm going to make a dessert today with a frozen peach. I saw it on TikTok and you freeze the peach and then you shave it. Eat the cake. And yeah, Jay also said that. You shave the peach and it makes like a shaven peach icy. And I have some mint, which will be good. Or I can make a basil peach agua fresca. I'll make something. We'll do another cooking live. And I'll do that later today because I like doing this morning motivation talk. And great. Yes, yes. Congratulations. That's huge. The first 10 pounds is typically the most difficult. And I do that too. But I also I don't eat first thing in the morning. I'll have water and tea and then I eat midday and then I stop by whatever time. But I do like my sweets. I do love a cupcake. I do love a cake. I love a cheesecake. I love a creme brulee. Look at you cutting weight and defining your brows. I'm afraid of you, Tammy. I love a cookie. I love a brownie. I love a dessert. And I like fruit. I like something sweet because I'm sweet. So I'm not giving up nothing. Paper chip. No, I want my sweets. So I'm going to eat it. And I often will just make what I eat. Before I go, because we've been on here about 2 hours. Let's get this up. We're at 9,000. Let's get the live up to 10. I will talk until we get to 10,000 likes. And then I'm going to go eat because I did my 2.5 mile sexy walk. And yes, while they're so, would you have them any other way, Lamp? Would you have them any other way? Peso, chill. Peso, Peso. She's always here to protect me. Peso. So, my favorite cookie. Come here, Peso. My favorite cookie, I have my favorite cookie recipe. However, my favorite cookie is always a oatmeal chocolate chip. Thank you. Thank you, Sassy Large. I appreciate that, girl. I appreciate that. I will. I'm always going to be. No, I won't be safe because I'm dangerous. People need to be afraid of me. Okay, Alfred? And that's why I told my mom. She said, girl, y'all need to be careful. I said, no. They need to be careful of me. They need to be afraid of me. I walk around in a sense of pride that, yes, all things coming to me are good. So safe people need to be afraid of me. Okay? You hear me? Do you see these? Do you see these defined arms? Okay? Okay? I will. That's what we'll do. Yeah, I'm safe and ready, but nothing bad comes to me. Only good thing comes to me. Great funny things come to me though. Funny things like whenever I'm in the grocery store, all the time when I'm in stores, people come up to me like, "Hey, can you tell me what aisle the green beans are on?" And my niece thinks it's funny because I don't work there, but I'm happy to help. Most of the time I'll say, I don't work here, but let's find out together. That happens. I guess I have a friendly face It happens in stores all the time where people say, "Hey, where's the shoes?" I don't know, but let's find out together. And we find out. So that type of stuff happens to me. I have people who just come up to me and they do like just start talking to me about something going on in their life. I've had funny things happen where like nothing bad comes to me. Funny things happen where it would only happen to me. Like someone saying, "Hey, can you hold my baby?" And they go out to their car. Things like that. The only thing that would be somewhat dangerous is when I was ran over by a motorcycle, but that was my fault. I didn't look both ways. Thank you, Tammy. Being kicked out of a country, but that was my fault. I was almost arrested in Kuwait because I was driving after women in certain countries in the UAE cannot be out after a certain time without their father, their brother, or their husband, and so that was frightening. That was frightening. I never want to. I don't like dealing with police. I'm never doing anything where that is going to happen. However, I definitely don't want anything in a country, especially in the UAE. I don't want no problems. As I say, no beef. It's all good over here. But I've ducked and dodged that. So I'm here to share with you. And thank you for getting, yeah, that was something. I will. See, I just talk and then I remember these stories because I have so many of them that I write them down to be reminded to share them because maybe somebody can learn from them. Ooh, roasted red pepper dip from Provence. From Provence, the south of France. How nice. Are you roasting your red peppers? Thank you, Tammy. You know, I appreciate you, though. I appreciate you. You will be hearing me talk more, and when I go, then I come. I'm doing a lot of working on my speech because my TED Talk is coming up, so I'm really preparing for that, and what that entails, and being excited with that because okay, Joy for Life, what are you going to eat them with? Crackers, tortilla chips, pita chips? Are you gonna make your own pita chips? All right, we'll do another cooking live later today. However, now I'm going to go eat because I am actually hungry from talking. I've hydrated myself. And I feel encouraged. Sesame sticks. Sesame have been eaten for millennia as a sign of wealth and prosperity. Just to let you know. In certain cultures, sesame is related to prosperity. Thank you. And let me close the live with what I always close the live with. You can always find me on YouTube. I upload all of my lives onto YouTube. So please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Hope is Speaking. All of my lives are under my daily TikTok lives. Yeah, I'm glad you did too in 12 hours. Whew. That's half of the day, buddy. I'm glad I was able to bring something to your day. And always be the reflection of love because we all come from an infinite source of love. Thank you, Joy for Life. Please, on the next live, tell me how your roasted red pepper dip came out. Are you making it extra spicy? Are you putting a little cayenne in there? I love that. Show up because all you have to do is show up. The rest is waiting for you. Make it woof. Okay, 12 hours, 6 days a week. All right. I I know about okay. When you show up, make it look good and truly be present. Start being present today. Cut off the meaningless banter. Cut off the people who calling you, telling you who died. And find the meaning in your life. Because this experience means something different to all of us. However, it may mean something once you find out the meaning of your life. You better go get some rest and drink some water, paper chaser. Drink some water and go rest, honey. Back to work at 6. Where's life? Yeah, find the meaning in your life because it's the truth. I found the meaning in my life or in this time period. I don't know, it may change. However, life changes once you find the meaning for your life. Your life isn't all about eating Oreos and dodging traffic. There may be something for you. Okay, well, when you listen to me, I'm your vacation. How about that? Thank you for getting it up to Tammy. Thank you. Thank you for getting up to 11,000 likes. I appreciate y'all. I really do. And this is why I will continue to speak. And I'm going to practice my TED speech with you starting this week. Because I'm about a little over a month out into TED. So until then, be hopeful, find the meaning in your life, and look at everyone cutting weight. Thank you, Fun with Tammy. Thank you, Spanky, for the gifts. I will have a great one. I will see you later. We're going to cook something, and I'll post right before, so then you'll know that I'm coming on live. Until then, make the most out of this day, because there is something great in this day. I love you all. Ciao, and until we meet again.